So, first, I think it's important to start off with who you are and who we are as a team. So, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, Chris Minteer. Been in the real estate industry 39 years.
Good. Yeah.
And I have to say, a blessed daughter to be able to work with,
Yeah.
Alicia Minteer Ross.
Yeah.
But it's been a journey, and you've been there for the majority of it.
I know. And I thought I've been thinking a lot about as we have these huge changes happening in our world and getting to share it with people. I thought it'd be really cool for us to just go back and share our story. And so over the last 39 years, I've been a part of and gotten to witness you grow an incredible business um, for helping over 4,100 families buy and sell homes over the years. The team sold over $1.1 billion of real estate.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I guess I would love to kind of start from the beginning and both of us get to share our stories and how we've ended up building what I think is a really beautiful partnership that we get to do life together with. So you got into real estate before I was born.
I did. My education was marketing, fashion merchandising. Moved down to Texas in 81 from Wisconsin. I'm a Wisconsinite. Don't get mad at me.
There's lots of Packer rivalry in our family.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Came down single. Met my husband down here. We're going to have our 40th anniversary this year, and as his business had the opportunity for growth, it meant we moved around a little bit. So I got the relocation part of the world as a start.
Yeah.
Was not in the real estate industry at that point. But the sales part was something that was exciting, and the marketing, and it was an opportunity for having growth and yet taking my skill set with me, so that I didn't have to start back. I started back over, but not on somebody else's terms. It gave me the ability to build a business.
Okay.
And we did. Started in the business with Coldwell Banker. Was with them for, I think, 14 years.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that was that long.
Yep.
So you got into it in Texas here in DFW,
Yep.
right when I was born, right
Actually, a
before.
couple of years. Yep, a couple of years before you were born. And then 6 months into it, we had the opportunity to move to Arizona.
Okay.
And so picked up. Unfortunately, you have to relicense out there, so I had to start back over from scratch, having you as a infant. And I actually worked, I don't know that you even know that, in apartment management.
Oh, really? No, I didn't know that.
It didn't last long because I kind of figured if I'm working weekends, I'm going to work for myself. And so it was hard to reestablish and start fresh, knowing that we were only going to be there for a couple of years.
Okay.
And so I had the opportunity within Coldwell Banker to work with the number one agent at the time as an assistant.
Okay.
And learned just massive amounts from her. Credit what we do, or my trajectory of what I did from her. So when we moved back, having the knowledge that leverage is key. It was at a time that people didn't do that.
Yeah.
But shortly after, I would say almost a year of being back here, hired my first assistant, which was unusual because now I've got payroll.
Yeah.
But
And did you bring her on full time?
no, it didn't start full time,
Okay.
but it certainly grew into full time.
And that was like 90, 93, 94?
Probably 94, 95
Okay.
with it, because your sister was here now.
Yeah.
So had 2 kids under the age of 5.
Yeah.
And a growing business, and you have to remember there were no computers, there were no cell phones. I'm not sure there were faxes at that point.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of running in a totally different world
of real estate.
And so we evolved into the internet world, things online, skill sets that caused you to be in the office more. And so the more I could leverage out to be in front of people and help people, the faster we grew.
So then, because I only remember that period of our life as my mom being in the school, like marketing and your face on things and the van, and my mom bringing us along and showing stuff.
That was before internet.
Yeah. Yes. And like on trips, like it just was wild of watching you do business and build your business. And I know like through my life, there's very distinct time periods that I could see that your business was growing
Mhm.
quite a bit. So what was it like building a team that had never, and like through Coldwell Banker, was that really something that others were doing, or what did that transition look like?
Their model was not set up to embrace teams as much at that time.
Okay.
And so as we grew and needed more space, needed more support
Uh-huh.
to be able to propel it,
Yeah.
we made a change to Keller Williams.
And at that point, what did your business look like? Because that
we
was
were
right
rocking.
at 99, right?
We were rocking
Yeah.
for what we were doing.
Kind of
And
known
brought
as
in a
one of the
team.
top
Teams.
real estate
We were
agents and
blessed.
teams in our area,
Yep.
right? At that point?
We were. And blessed to be able to move to a company that was embracing that
Mhm.
and trained to that and lent support to having growth.
Yeah.
With both what we call buyer agents, folks that specialize in working with our buyers that are coming to us and handling the listing side, breaking it down into individual departments.
Yeah.
And making sure that our clients are covered with
And that was uncommon for, especially in this area, but in general in the industry.
You
Right at
were
that time.
seeing a separation of how people could grow a business because of it.
And look at it really as a business versus a one-man
It
show.
has always been.
Yeah.
We ran across our budgets from 1989 when a cell phone was, $10.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But it has always been a business for me and always looked at it as such and treated it as such. A lot of people get into this business because they think they're in charge of their own time. And you are. And the bigger you grow, the less time you have.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is where the team came into play. And I've loved all the folks that have been part of our growth with it. We've had
Yeah.
some amazing people.
Yeah. And who have gone on to build their own
And teams,
incredible
yeah.
businesses, which is just a testament to who you are and how you have taught people and grown people throughout your entire career, which I love.
We're blessed with hiring right and giving opportunity,
Yeah.
and always it makes my heart happy to see people develop their own careers with it,
Yeah.
kind of like you.
I know, and I think that's where I think it's important because of some of the changes that we are about to launch and get to be able to share, telling this piece of the story and why you at that point in time chose Keller Williams as an incredible partnership, and how life-changing Keller Williams was,
Oh,
and
totally.
getting to sit in the room with incredible leaders and masterminds and learning business models and being able to serve our clients at a really high level. I think speaks to what that company had offered and has offered for years.
And the careers and businesses that they've helped build
Yes.
for people across the country that we have the opportunity to still be in business with.
Yeah.
And refer back and forth, and it makes a difference.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I think that's where, so for me, as I watched you, and I think it comes back to a lot of the training that you've gone through, and learning business mindset has really impacted who I've become. Because I mean, at 16 started working,
Mhm.
and at 18 started taking my real estate license. By 19, I had my real estate license, and through college, I got my degree in marketing, similar
Yeah.
to what you did, but also had my real estate license by then. I was in 2007, I got my real estate license, and I knew that I had an incredible, successful mom in real estate, but that I didn't want to necessarily just follow in your footsteps.
Mhm.
I think that was really important to me to show that I had I didn't need my mom. I wanted to be a partner with my mom, and that I didn't want things just handed to me by any means. And I think that's really unique for what we've built together. And it was
I
very
agree.
intentional of what we did together over the last, 20 years pretty much. So I after graduating, I did apartment locating. So that's funny. I guess I would guess that we've talked about that, but it just doesn't come to mind that you did it for a little bit too.
No, I managed
Managements? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
No,
that's
I did leasing. That's different. Um, but I, out of college, moved up in Austin to what was known at the time as one of the most innovative real estate brokerages. And I think it was interesting for our dynamics of you coaching me and advising me, but also allowing me to learn something completely different. Um,
to me, there would have been nothing worse than you coming back in and learning and having no more exposure than what I have to offer.
yeah,
And so that was something that was super important to me as a mom, was to make sure that you wanted this industry,
yeah,
not because it's an easy way in. And so watching that growth, and you had your moments of
yes,
whether real estate was going to be
yeah. I mean,
your thing.
I think being at this innovative real estate company, they had won Inman Awards. I got opportunities to speak on stages. I was in an Apple commercial and it was so innovative. They had an incredible culture, but then I also watched things happen that that I got burnt out. And I think that's where it was actually a pretty hard conversation for
Mhm.
us because there's a moment in time that it's like I'm crushing it at 23, 24, and I don't want to do it anymore.
Mhm.
And I'm completely burnt out and um I'm I'm disappointed that the what I had thought of potentially getting to partner with you at some point is just not, I don't want to touch it anymore.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
And so the journey of you coming back to find yourself still loving that business was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I would guess hard for you too.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Um, because I'm still going to be around for a lot longer.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely got out, and actually I remember talking to my husband. I was making six figures and choosing to leave. And I actually went and found a job opportunity at a startup
Mhm.
company, an e-commerce tech startup in Austin. And I think that year, it was a year that I was there,
Mhm.
that I went and did acquisition sales, inside sales, calling people on the phone. Like that was my role. And so I think through that one, I learned a lot about the tech world and got to see what that looked like, but also realizing that I love the real estate industry.
Well, and you were still working skill sets that propel you into
Yeah.
what is needed in our industry still today. So
I think I had to go through like career coaching.
you did. Yeah.
Because
And you did.
I literally paid for career coaching because it was hard to like figure out what skill sets I had that I could go into any other industry. And then realizing that for me, real estate is about loving on and taking care of people, being able to be a great communicator,
Mhm.
understanding how to run a business and how to do marketing. I think all of that allowed me to learn from this tech company and then be able to launch back into real estate.
Well, and a lot of people think it's just getting out there and opening doors and showing a house.
Yeah.
And there's so much more that goes into making sure that everything works well for them.
Yeah.
And they don't get to see the back end of what we do.
Yeah.
And it has been layered on so much over the years. The more tech comes at us, the more layers that have to happen in this industry.
Yes.
And it becomes overwhelmingly um, daunting for one person to take that kind of
I-
challenge on.
That is a
And having the
true.
skill set
Yes.
for it.
And I think that's even coming at us faster right now.
Mhm.
And probably as we share more about why we're making some of these big changes, a huge reason for the changes we're making is because over the last 10 years, so that was for me, it was in 2013 is when I got out of the industry.
Yeah.
And 2014 is when I got back into it. And when I got back in, I decided to partner very quickly with another team and realized that I could do it on my own
Hmm.
and
But
hired.
you did go back you went to Keller Williams
Yes.
down
Yep.
in Austin.
Yeah. So originally I wasn't with KW.
Yeah.
I was with a team that had broken off of KW and started an independent brokerage.
Yep.
And then I went back to KW because along the way you had taken me to masterminds
Mhm.
and to family reunions, and it felt like home down there.
And offered growth
Yes.
and training, and that's one thing that's super important and has always been as I've grown my business is the continued education and having the people that are around me having continued
Yeah.
education. We're very blessed with having two of our team members and what I call family with us for 20 and 23 or 24 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it would never be the same if they didn't embrace the continuing education that we get to.
Well, and I think that kind of speaks back. I didn't even share, but in high school, I came in and did an internship with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so these women who have been with you for 28
Yeah.
plus years got the opportunity to work with me as a high schooler,
Uh-huh.
and I, was not who I am today. And so they've gotten to watch me grow into it.
Yeah.
Um,
And earn into it.
yeah.
It wasn't anything that you just stepped back into and became a partner in this business.
No.
You earned your way into this world.
Well, and I think so. Going back into real estate, when I left that tech startup,
Mhm.
I launched my own real estate business. I hired and recruited one of my girlfriends who is a powerhouse and still in the
Still
industry.
is, yeah.
Yeah. And trained her.
Mhm.
And I had hired an assistant, kind of part time at that time, where she could assist and leverage because I watched you do that.
Yep.
And being a part of other teams, I knew there was no way for me to do what I love without the help of other incredible people.
Oh, and by the way, did you have a baby during that time
Yeah,
too?
yeah. So I remember going to Bold in some of these, which is a coaching program, like an 8-week intensive
Mhm.
program that you go through. And I've gone through it probably 10 plus times. But writing in my journal that, like, I hope that that Ryan and I get to start our family and all of this stuff. And then 10 weeks later, right after I had launched my business, I find out I'm expecting and have a very difficult pregnancies. I know this is silly to talk about, but I built a business that I ended up being with the incredible team that I had number 7 within our marketplace within a year and a half.
That's awesome.
I had 2 boys in 16 months. And at that moment, realizing that Ryan and I wanted to raise our family and partner with you. And that was a very hard transition. It's you talk about a lot of changing pieces. Ryan, for us, I mean, I think at this point for you in 2006 to 2016,
Mhm.
you had built a very successful top real estate team in DFW.
And weathered 2008.
Yeah, went through that. You had a powerhouse of a team. You had support and incredible people around you. You've been known for having a top business in DFW.
Mhm.
And for me, that was graduating college and building my own business and learning along the way and starting a family and realizing that we wanted to move up. It's like, how do you make that transition? So when Ryan and I decided, I had a 9-month at home. I'm pregnant with Levi. I've got a real estate career that I've built. Ryan is coaching and teaching, and now it's how do we build the life we want? And we knew it was in DFW.
And being 4 hours away from
Yeah,
family
from
support.
family.
Yeah.
And I couldn't build what I want for my life doing it in Austin without knowing that I wanted to partner with you and earn the opportunity to be in business with
Well,
you.
we were excited to have you come back.
Yeah. And so that's where at 8 months pregnant, we bought a house in DFW. Ryan got a job opportunity that allowed us to move up here. I transitioned and had my girlfriend taking over business in Austin. We saw a house, but then moved up here 9 days after having a baby. Ryan changing jobs, me joining your team, and having a 16-month-old and a 16-month-old and a newborn in a 9-day period. And it was wild.
Yes,
and,
it was.
and then 8 weeks later, as a real estate agent, you don't get the opportunity to just stop your business. You don't get maternity leaves. You have to build. And here I am running my business remote from Austin,
Mhm.
and now having to walk in the door. And I have journals, which is kind of fun, but of being so fearful of not wanting to overstep and make sure that I earn the respect and the trust of the team.
Mhm.
And that's where I think that next chapter over the last 8 years has happened. And it wasn't the easiest.
No, it wasn't.
And
And it was,
a lot of learning for me of leadership and I
Right.
had built, yes, and I had a career prior. I knew what I was doing, but it felt like I almost had to start over and earn a seat at the table.
yes, and yet, as you did, getting you the ropes
And which you've done
to
incredible.
do has been important for me.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't want those steps, I wasn't putting it on you.
Yeah.
And so each step you made was the ability for me to watch you blossom.
Yeah.
And the team too. And, you come in and share changes with the team and bring them along and give them opportunity. And it's fun watching where it has taken the team on their journey.
Yeah. I think it's been a ton of learning for me along the years, and you have done such a beautiful job of allowing that growth to happen, and at least from my side of it, never feeling like I'm overstepping. You want that growth for me, and you've given it and allowed me to step into different roles. So, and that's where,
And each time you take it.
yeah, yeah, and with your coaching, and I think because I did business in Austin and we had built an incredible, more so mentorship and friendship
Mhm.
outside of just mother daughter,
Right.
right? Where then I move up here and now I call you Chris when we're in business world, and I call you mom at home, and sometimes mom here. It just,
Sometimes I get in trouble because I don't know which one it is.
yeah, right. But I think that's where today, I think it's important for us to get to share the last year and a half. We've been on a pretty big journey
Yeah.
and we've shared along the way that journey of a true partnership, and we went through working with attorneys and partnering in a way that we co-own the business together,
We did.
and doing that with the intention that over the next, in my mind, next 20 and 30 years,
Mhm. Mhm.
that you and I get to be true business partners and allow me to step into more of a leadership and growth role for the team and take the team in the next chapter, and you really getting to partner alongside that and advising and guiding.
Yep.
And still working in the business very much, but also getting to go and do other things that you might want.
We enjoy our travel.
Yeah.
But, we made the announcement last year and a lot of folks thought I was retiring, and it's like, no.
Not at all.
I'm still working. Make sure you still
You're
call.
not allowed to. You're not. Yeah, you are. You're very much still in the day-to-day trenches.
Yep.
of
And that's the
building
part I
business.
love. I love working with folks on the buy and sell side. I love building the business, but I want the business growth to be where we have a new vision and new growth. Because I think what we've got as an opportunity in front of us is incredible.
Yeah.
We, like you said, we closed over what,
$1.1
billion in residential real estate.
Yeah.
That's a strong business.
Yes.
And I can see where it can go. But it's going to be with your vision now that is layering it on top of what we have as a base.
Yeah.
And making sure that nothing, putting it on paper legally was very important to me so that we don't have any unanswered questions.
Yes.
As business partners. And I think as long as we've got that document, because nothing can ever take away from work is not worth a relationship.
Yeah.
And so, but it also makes it stronger because we know where we're headed.
Yes.
And we've got lots of fun stuff that we're going to be talking about here in a little bit.
I know. And I think I kind of just want to wrap up. I think wrap up this as last year, I don't think we even knew that we'd be on the journey that we're on today.
No, I would agree.
And I think we have gone through so many chapters in life together and done it in such a beautiful way that this partnership has allowed us to get to this moment.
Yep.
And I will say that the last 5 months, as we've figured out what this next journey looks like for us, it's been so fun watching you really engage and choose to lean in almost more than I've seen you in several years.
I would agree.
Of wanting this next chapter of change. And I feel it's kind of reminiscent of you seeing the changes with how Caldwell Banker leveled you up to get to a spot.
Mhm.
And then Keller Williams leveled you up and got you to a spot. And as we have seen how the industry's been changing and the pace of it and what's required to take great care of our clients
Mhm.
and the opportunities that we can offer the agents on our team and for us to grow together. I think that's where this next chapter is really exciting to get to share. And so I think I just want to kind of end this with like, I love you so much and I'm so excited.
Oh, don't make me cry now.
So,
well, it's a wonderful journey, and I think it's just starting.
Me too. It's really fun. So stay tuned. We'll share more about what we are really excited to launch coming up.